the honourable member for Lac-Saint-Louis.
Merci, Monsieur le Président, et je tiens à vous aviser que je vais partager mon temps avec mon collègue ici, à ma gauche immédiate, le député de Bonavista, Gander, Grand Falls, Windsor. Monsieur le Président, l'opération militaire en Libye est en quelque sorte un point culminant dans l'évolution des Nations unies et du droit international. Évolution à laquelle, je suis fier de le dire, le Canada a participé à plusieurs reprises et à plusieurs niveaux. Comme vous savez, c'est la première fois que la responsabilité de protéger a été invoquée, a été exécutée sous l'égide du Conseil de sécurité des Nations unies. Deux autres pays ont évoqué ce principe, mais en tant que pays individuels et sans l'appui d'autres nations. Et c'était bien sûr la Russie et la France. Mais maintenant, comme je l'ai dit, c'est une première, et comme j'ai mentionné, le Canada fait partie de l'évolution vers cette idée de la responsabilité de protéger, et nous devons d'être fiers. Monsieur le Président, c'est bien sûr à travers les médias que nous avons appris au tout début des gestes inacceptables, violents et cruels que le colonel Kadhafi imposait envers son peuple. Mais c'est également suite au travail de la Cour internationale criminelle, plus particulièrement en vertu du travail acharné et assidu de son procureur en chef, que nous avons appris davantage sur ce qui se passe sur le terrain. Nous avons pu justifier davantage notre intervention militaire en Libye. It is through the International Criminal Court and its chief prosecutor, Luis Moreno Ocampo, that we have been able to gather detailed evidence, in some cases provided by human rights groups, of Colonel Gaddafi's crimes against his own people. In fact, by way of example, I'll just read a quote from Mr. Moreno Ocampo, who said his forces, meaning Colonel Gaddafi's forces, attacked Libyan civilians in their homes and in public spaces, shot demonstrators with live ammunition, used heavy weaponry against participants in funeral processions, and placed snipers to kill those leaving mosques after prayers, he told a news conference in The Hague a while back. Now, I'd like to digress just a little bit by talking about the International Criminal Court and the role that Canada played in its establishment, and more specifically the role that a Liberal government and a Liberal foreign minister who is well known, Lloyd Axworthy, played in the establishment of the International Criminal Court, since its work is so important in respect to this mission. As you know, Canada played a pivotal role in the establishment of the court. It chaired a coalition of states called the Like-Minded Group that helped to motivate the wider international community to adopt the Rome Statute. It also contributed to the United Nations Trust Fund that enabled lesser developed countries to participate in International Criminal Court negotiations. And I would add, Mr. Speaker, that it was a senior diplomat, Philip Kirsch, who was chosen by acclamation, quite an honor, to chair the Committee of the Whole at the diplomatic conference in Rome, which was held in June and July 1998. And as I mentioned, it was Minister Axworthy who was very much behind international support for the court. Now, it should also be mentioned that Mr. Kirsch was instrumental in drafting a final global proposal for the International Criminal Court. And Canada, under a Liberal government, I'd like to mention, was the 14th country to sign the Rome Statute of the International Criminal Court. and on June 29, 2000, Canada enacted the Crimes Against Humanity and War Crimes Act, becoming the first country in the world to adopt comprehensive legislation implementing the Rome Statute. And finally, Mr. Speaker, on July 7, 2000, Canada ratified the Rome Statute. So the International Criminal Court has played a significant role in the current developments in Libya, and Canada was very much involved with the court. Now, that brings me to the responsibility to protect, of course. And here again, Foreign Minister Axworthy played a very important role. Taking initiative from the wisdom and knowledge that we've gained as a country, especially in Rwanda, Mr. Speaker. As you know, it was Minister Axworthy who created a body called the, I'm just looking for the exact term here, Mr. Speaker, but it was an international United Nations group that was asked to delve in to this question of how we get away from the original idea behind the United Nations, which was created really in a Cold War climate. The original idea that you must never intervene in the sovereignty of a sovereign state, because of course that in a Cold War climate would provoke war, but in a post-Cold War international environment, those considerations are lessened, and also in a Cold War international environment we see that many of the conflicts are civil wars, and many of the conflicts involve governments turning on their own people, as Colonel Gaddafi's government has done. So Lloyd Axworthy launched this international effort because he didn't believe that you could allow, in a civilized world, that you could allow dictators to simply massacre their own people. Now, the problem was, of course, that it was important that the idea be accepted by more than just a few countries, a few Western countries. And in 2005, the African Union included the concept of the responsibility to protect in its charter. So all of a sudden, the idea started to gain traction. And in 2006, the Security Council of the United Nations agreed that this doctrine now became part of international law. Now, so again, my main point, Mr. Speaker, is that this mission in Libya is very much an extrapolation of, if you will, of the role Canada has played in the international community, the leadership that it has shown. But I think we have to be careful. I think we have to be careful when we talk about the responsibility to protect R2P, because it is still viewed with suspicion by many countries, many less developed countries that have a history of colonialism. For them, they see responsibility to protect as perhaps a pretext that could be used by countries that would want to intervene in unjustifiable circumstances to promote their interests. It could also be used by factions in a civil war situation, where you could have an unscrupulous warlord, for example, who would provoke a crisis so that he could get some help from outside intervention. So we have to protect Canada's reputation as a peace-loving country, as a non-imperialist country. We have to protect Canada's reputation by being very careful in how we participate in these kinds of missions, Mr. Speaker, because Canada's reputation is really something that is sterling and that we've taken many years to build up. Thank you.